Hello, hello. I am a few hours late, but I can't imagine that anybody is going to care about that. So let me go ahead and get rid of this echo. Fantastic. Making sure we are still live right here, everybody. I'm so excited. I have been so ready to share this with you. Um, and I have really done a good job. And I think a lot of other people are doing this. Like, done is better than perfect. Any Virgos out there, like that's a hard one to succumb to, right? Just get it out there, share it. But I've birthed something very special that I want to share with everybody. But before we get to that, I don't want to lose anybody here because I'm going to talk about resilience. And resilience, I'm seeing a lot of different people share about it. It's definitely a place we've all lived in. Like, I feel like every single one of us has had to dig deep into our resilience buckets these past few years. And I'm going to venture to say that most of us have not replenished that bucket since we jumped in during COVID in 2020. I mean, if you really think about it, that's 5 years ago. Yeah, a full little more than 5 years ago. And what I'm here to tell you is resilience is not the end all be all. Everybody that I know, all like, those coaches like on those videos that are constantly yelling at you, like, push harder, go faster, you can dig deeper. Like, those people have made a killing on motivating people to just go, 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 right? And that what they don't do is talk about the refill. They don't talk about like how you can't live in that space of resilience. And I'm kind of sitting over here. I don't want to say that I'm the antithesis of resilience because I could tell you I'm probably the God bless it queen of it with the things that I've gone through and lived in my life, right? And so I can't say that I'm overly prepared for this, but I do want to make sure that I have my notes because I don't want to lose anybody and I want to share a lot of things that are really, really important to know and to understand when you are looking at, okay, is it time to shift? Or maybe when you're getting that calling, kind of that feeling like that it's time to shift, right? Um, and so we're going to talk about resilience, and then we're really going to talk about how to transition out of that resilience, fight, flight, freeze mode, right? That so many of us have been in. And the biggest thing, if you are in resilience mode, that means that the shit has hit the fan, right? Like, that means something has happened. That means you are surviving. You are doing everything you can to put your life back together. You're trying to get through the thing, right? Like, when you have to dig into resilience, you've maybe gotten a medical diagnosis. Maybe you've just had some sort of horrific physical injury, some traumatic accident. Maybe you're going through divorce. Maybe you're just going through a really, really, really hard time. You found out something in your marriage, like you felt the betrayal, right? Like, you found out something that just totally blindsided you, right? And now you feel like, how am I supposed to get through this, right? So, like, when you're digging into resilience, you're in rebuilding, you're in the overdoing, you're in the I'm good, I got this, right? Because typically resilience kicks in when your power has been taken away from you, right? Like, can you think about like when you or someone that you loved have gotten some medical news that totally took your breath away? And you're like, I feel like I have no power. What can I do? I feel helpless, right? Resilience is you doing things, taking action, taking control so that you do feel like you're taking some of your power back. And sometimes all you can rely on, right? All you can go on is your raw faith in that I don't know if I trust the world anymore. I don't know if I trust my body anymore. I don't know if I trust society anymore, but I trust that I got a higher power. And you know what I trust? That I'm going to be the only damn one that's going to get me out of this, right? Like, this is where you realize nobody's coming to save me. I got to save myself. And then like, imagine like that armor, like a transformer. Boy, mom here. Like that armor of like the transformers like coming all around you and suddenly like you can deflect anything. right? Like you are completely unfuckwithable at this point. You are, I've got this. There's no time for softness. This is time to fight. I'm going to fight my way through. And a lot of times, what we're doing when we're in that resilience phase is we're ignoring the fact that we're mourning the loss of something. We're mourning the loss of some part of our life that we can no longer access, some part of our life that we know might never be the same again, some part of our truth that has totally rocked our world and turned us upside down. I mean, think about when you have a really rough time in a relationship or in your marriage, right? Like that's trust getting obliterated at the nth degree, like to the infinite power. So, really, when we are in that resilience phase, it's all the doing, and the doing isn't really powerful. It's truly the being, right? Because resilience tricks you into believing that your power lies in how much you can carry. Let me say that again. Resilience tricks you into believing that your power lies in how much you can carry, meaning how much you can do. But the real power is it's in what you're willing to let down, right? To lay down the what you're willing to unburden yourself with. And you know, it feels like it's all doing, right? It's action, it's control, it's hustle, it's that guy screaming at you. And I always think of the workout video, like, go more, push harder, you can do it. Like always a man just yelling and screaming, or like this woman who's like so angry, or just super emphatic. Um, or like the lady on my Peloton rides, right? Like she does kind of get me through it. But ultimately, like there's a moment when like that flame just stops burning things down, and that addiction to productivity that you had kind of fizzles, and you start to find that on the other side of this, like true creation happens in the exhale. It happens in the pause. It happens in the trust. But again, your trust has been obliterated. So that's kind of difficult to get there. Always, you know, it's not the easiest thing to get back to. It's one of the things I do with a lot of my clients is work to rebuild, help you rebuild trust. Because if you try to do it on your own, honestly, it's going to take a hell of a lot longer than somebody who's guiding you through it and helps you recognize what these signs are, what these triggers are. And so like if you're sitting here listening to me and like what you're thinking about is your next strategy, your next launch, that your next pivot, like that's the thing. If you're thinking that's the thing that's going to set you free, it's not. Like what if it's not about what you're doing next, but if what if it's about what you allow yourself to become when you stop doing all of this? And like you've already built empires, and you've done that on grit, you've done that on resilience, you've done that on sheer excitement, motivation, sometimes ignorance, right? I always said like in my pharmaceutical career, um, when I was, and I've done a lot of recruiting and building of teams, right? So as I was hiring to build out these teams, excitement and attitude was so much more important to me than, I don't want to say the word competence because you need to be competent in your job, but we can typically teach you that, right? It's more of that excitement and that attitude than your experience or your knowledge base. But you're probably somebody, like if you're someone who is loving resilience and really wears like your resilience on your arm, like that badge of armor, you've just always kept going. Like the thought of taking a breath, the thought of exhaling, the thought of doing nothing gives you the heebie-jeebies because you've led the teams, you've raised your kids, you've held the line when everything else falls apart because you're not going to fall apart. You're the one who's going to keep going. And that's what strong women do. And that's right, that's who you are. But I'm going to tell you, your brilliance, again, is not in how much you carry. It's in what you're finally ready to let down. And the power doesn't come from motion. Power comes from presence, presence within, presence around you. And so really, like I ask you, like, what is it that you're avoiding in that stillness? Because when you're ready and you're willing to look at that, when you're ready and you're willing to stare into that void, one of the scariest places for me always, right? I've learned to embrace it. God bless. it can be so scary, right? Like that's where your next level comes from, right? And again, if you're still here with me, right, and you're resonating with resilience, excuse me, that little mute button is handy dandy if you do need to take a cough, and I didn't want to cough in your face yet again. You know when your throat gets like super dry, like way in the back? Um, that place of looking within, right? Taking those breaks, taking those pauses, that is where your evolution comes from. That's where your leveling up comes from. And you, again, you are resonating with this because you are always on top. You always know that you can rely on yourself. You know that no one can do it like you can. And let me give you an example, right? Like we were working on helping Jax with some homework last night. And I am a morning person. Please do not ask me to do like good output past 7, 8 o'clock at night. Like I'm a morning person. 5, 6 in the morning. Oh, I can write a TED talk. Like helping a sixth grader with his work. And this was literally like we were doing a timeline. So the teacher sent home this paper, and I'm already going, there's like 16 lines of like events they have to put on this timeline. And they have to write like what the event was and the date and something about it and then draw a picture. And I'm like, if I leave this up to my child, like there it's not going to make sense. And like during conferences, we talked about um she really wanted to make sure that the kids put everything actually in chronological order. And so I'm like, Ken, can you please just help me with this? Like I'm doing my own stuff right now. Like I need to punt to you, right? Like here we go. Like me not doing it all on my own. Help Jax. Like he's typed out the things because we're past having him handwrite because that is atrocious. But he would rather retype everything than actually handwrite it out. So that's great. He typed out what his things were. I said, can you help print it out? And print it out so it'll all fit. You need like help him with the spacing. And then he can cut them out and paste them in order and then go from there, right? So I go back to what I'm doing, which is not a whole lot. I'm punting, I'm delegating, I'm not taking it all on me. I'm asking for help, something that I, like many other people, have worked on really hard, a long time to do. And I come back and I'm like, I noticed Jax was already pasting, and I come over and Ken's off, whatever. And I'm like, we are not in chronological order. We are not by the hashtag or by the, by the lines on the timeline. And I'm like, oh my God, this is why I asked another grown up to help. And I immediately start damseling, right? Like total damsel in distress. I knew I should have just, why would I have asked you to do this, right? Why would I have asked you to help if you didn't actually have to hold his hand and make sure like he was going to space everything out so it worked, right? And totally like start like I'm like yelling, but like when they see me yell like this, I kind of specifically go a little bit over the top so that it doesn't quite come off so mean and that I'm caricature kind of like sound like a crazy person because it kind of disarms them a little bit when I'm yelling at the both of them. But inside, like I'm spiraling. I'm like, God bless it. Are you kidding me? Come on. And my husband still forgets, like we're 12. We just went into middle school. I mean, granted, we're almost done with the first year of middle school. But it's a far cry from, his older boys who one's graduated and out in the real world and the other one's going into his senior year like of college. That was here, you want me to print something for you? Go handle it, right? We are still moderately hand holding and still trying to have like that safety net. So like they don't think that they're dumb because their output does not match their intellect, you know? And so immediately I was like, oh my God, I so should have just done it all myself, right? Should have done it all myself. Well, no, I was like, no, I'm still not going to fix this. Just can you please? Because I'm still doing other things that I would like to do. And so I was proud of myself, right? But again, the doing, I could have just taken it on myself, but no, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I still needed to allow someone else to do it. And that's a big lesson right there in the shift that I've personally had is not doing it myself, asking for help, knowing that It's not going to get done my way because, quite frankly, I'm a Virgo and my way is always going to be so perfect. Let me tell you, I can tell you exactly how to do it and how the best way is going to be. And if you do it, it's probably never going to come out as good as my way. Hello, total Virgo here, right? Um, but it's still going to get done and it's still going to get right when I let them. And so I really had to kind of learn how to relax and let it be and let it not be so perfect, but still let it get done and let it be right, right? So if you're feeling that, like, please uh let me know in the comments. Like, do you have those moments? P.S. Also, are you a Virgo? Because we are so amazing. Um, let's move on there, right? Kind of digressed a little bit. But let's talk a little bit how, like, okay, resilience, it's gonna get you through, but surrender, it builds your throne. Resilience gets you through. Surrender builds your throne. Had I continued to just say, never mind, I don't want your help, let me just do it, I would have gone to bed so angry because number one, I would have stayed up so much later than I needed to without having asked for help and doing the things I wanted to do before bed. I would have gone to bed angry and I wouldn't have had time for a little boom boom, or not would I have been in the mood for a little boom boom later had I not been able to let that go and let that land and let him handle it because I asked, right? So survival is not like, you don't want to live in that survival space of just getting through. You have to really learn how to surrender. And that's when everything around just becomes so much better. Like, to those of you who are listening right now and understanding, like, you've survived the things that were meant to break you. Like, you're so tired of white knuckling it. You're so tired of it. But you've got to learn, and now it's truly the time to stop proving that you have to be strong and start choosing to be whole. That place of always having to prove that you can do it, prove to yourself, prove to others, and sometimes, a lot of times, that really is proving to yourself. It comes from the betrayal. It comes from the betrayal you've experienced. And maybe that betrayal was from a relationship that went sideways. Maybe that betrayal was from a friendship who sends you a breakup letter after they visit your home, your new home, and you're trying to have a nice, enjoyable time together. She leaves and she sends you a breakup letter via email. Not that I've experienced that at all. I've heard that's happened. But again, still betrayal, right? Or maybe from the burnout, right? Like, you're constantly proving yourself and you're burning out. Although I've never resonated with the term burnout because, again, I'm a manifesting generator, right? Like, we don't burn out when we allow ourselves to choose to work on what's fun and what feels good. You only burn out. People burn out when they are disconnected from what they truly desire to be doing versus what they are doing. And in those nights when you were dealing with being burned out because you weren't laying it down on anyone else, in those nights when you were trying to come out of the pain from the betrayal that you've experienced, and maybe it could be a workplace betrayal too, like that happens all the time in your professional career, right? You had to learn to lean on yourself. But as you start to lean on yourself, you start to push everybody else away. That's that armor that I talked about in the very, very beginning. And honestly, like, how long can you keep on living like this? How long do you want to keep on living like there's another crisis ready to sneak up on you and rip it all away? Survival's just your chapter. It's not the whole damn book. Let me repeat that. Survival is just a chapter. It is not the whole damn book. You've earned the right to be so much more than just the strong one. You've earned the right to rest. You've earned the right to soften, and you've earned the right to trust again. And that is one of my specialties because that, I would tell you, was my core wound, trust. And it begins with not trusting others or realizing that your trust is broken because you've trusted others. And when you really peel back that layer, trusting the wrong people is truly a lack of trust in yourself because you're giving away that power to someone else instead of trusting your intuition, yourself. And when you do that, that's when you end up doing it all on your own and taking on too much more. But it doesn't make you weak, right? That lack of ability to be able to trust again, that lack of ability to rest, it doesn't make you weak. It makes you sovereign. And sovereignty, it's not just about ruling your life, it's really about refusing to live in a reactionary state of being. Because you don't get to just break cycles, you get to build legacies, you get to be the co creator of your life. The fire does not destroy you, it refines you. That phoenix that you were walking out of that fire as, that fire you're walking through, those hot coals, they're literally here to help you rise into a different version of you. I had a conversation with someone at lunch the other day, and I truly believe when we come into this life, we choose our parents, we choose our lessons, we choose our many of our situations. There's so many things that we choose about our environment and the things that we want to learn that our soul decides like it wants to evolve through. And when we look back at our life, like one of my gifts, I would say one of my superpowers is my ability to illuminate for you what you can't see for yourself. It truly sits in my core being, in my hologenetic profile. It sits in the core of my karmic life lessons, in my human design. Um, I can see what those lessons are for other people. And I have helped to illuminate and hold that space for you, right? Because again, the fire does not destroy you, it only refines you. Because what if that pain really isn't punishment? What if it's just purification? You haven't been here, or you don't come here, right? Like you don't come here to walk away unscarred, unscathed. I have a friend, Missy, and she always says, life is a contact sport. You're meant to get beat up, you're meant to get dirty. And you're here to rise softer too. You're here to become wiser. You're more than you've ever been before. So you got to stop hiding your story like it's a secret. Really, it is it's your superpower because you're not too much. You're just done finally pretending that you don't need anything, right? You're done pretending that you don't need anyone. And you're here to learn that it's okay to need other people when we have surrounded ourselves with the right people. And if this sounds scary, if it sounds scary, it's really not fear. It's just your soul whispering to you that this is the moment you become. And when you drop that mask of resilience, your soft power, it finally has room to rise. And like, this is not even me talking about like the masculine and the feminine that we have both in us, right? I spent my entire life, the bulk of my entire life in my masculine energy. And that masculine energy, right, came through to protect me because at some way, some point, somehow, my inner feminine, my softer energy, my creative energy, my creation energy, that was wounded. And so who had to come take over? That knight in shining armor that was right inside me, the one that built the wall around me, that built the thick, heavy walls around my heart to protect me. And I think this is the point that I'm really excited to introduce to you, the how to get there, right? When it feels scary, but yet you know, like this is coming. You don't want to wait. You don't want to waste another 5 years still working in the resilience. You don't want to waste another 3 years going through it because there are ways to collapse time around these huge evolutionary soul jumps that you, if you're still here with me and you follow me because you are an energetic being and you love all of this, right? You love the 3D, but you'd love to spend more time in the 5D and you understand your soul has a purpose. And quite frankly, if you're somebody who is a freedom loving, purpose filled, driven individual, you need to listen to this. You need to stick with me and listen to what reclamation it can do for you and how it even came to be birthed, because this has been so exciting and so fun for me to create over the past few weeks. that I wanted to launch it like a week ago, but I didn't have enough. Like I needed, it was just all here and I didn't want to come like all over everybody, right? Like out here on socials, because I think the resilience backstory is such, these are so pretty and you can't even see them. So sad. There we go. The resilience backstory is like so important, right? Like whether or not you want to work with me, which I don't know why you wouldn't, right? But whether or not you would want to do this and take your soul deeper and further so that you can be, right? Stop doing and be. Allow yourself that softness that continues to want to creep up and you're kind of like playing whack-a-mole, like, no, 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 right? Like you need to hear this. You need to hear how this has come. And it really comes on the heels of one of the things that I vowed to myself this year in 2025 was to allow my tears to flow more. I cannot tell you how many times I've said these two phrases. Number one, I don't have time to cry right now because if I start crying, I'm not going to be able to stop, right? Like that's just emotions being stuck inside. And then I've also said, oh my God, I need to cry and I can't right now. Does anybody have a sad movie for me to watch? Something to get the waterworks going, right? And I finally said, you know what? If I want to cry at a commercial, I'm going to let myself. If I want to cry while I'm walking down the street because I'm listening to something on a podcast or listening to a really good story, I'm going to let my tears flow. I don't care if I look funny to people because we are energy beings. No matter what, we are fluid. We are supposed to allow, oh, I use that word. Don't let it go in the negative way that we've all associated fluidity, gender. That's not what I'm talking about. We are boys or girls. And you can have effeminate boys and you can have masculine girls and whatever, and that's totally fine. But we are supposed to allow feelings, emotion, everything. We can't carry it, hold on to any of it, right? Like it needs to flow through us, fill us up, and we need to exhale it all out, whether it's good. We can't keep going on those high moments. Even that runner's high, that dissipates after a while. You continue to chase it, it's never going to be as good as the first time you got it, right? In those sad moments, we can't hold on to them forever. Like they have to have an escape from us. They have to be able to leave our bodies. And so I promised and vowed that I would allow myself to cry more. I do. I do. I let myself cry. And my God, it is so freeing. It is one of the things that allows you to drop back into your body. If you are one of the overthinkers, overdoers, overproducers, overachievers, and let me tell you, you probably don't. Overpleasers, right? You probably don't identify as those things, but you've got family and friends telling you that about yourself. You're probably not in your body all that often. You've probably very much disconnected. You're probably sitting up here and not in here. And it's time to connect the two because that's also the piece, a piece of your softness being ready to come forth. So let me present to you reclamation. I'm so excited about this. So excited. This is truly a 6-week initiation to ignite whatever it is that has been there all along and has just been buried. Because you didn't get here by breaking, you got here by holding it all together when everything around you was falling apart. And you didn't. Because you're wondering now, is it finally safe to put down some of that weight? Is it safe yet to take the breath? Is it safe to let someone else carry something for me? Is it safe to delegate this to someone else? Is it okay to stop performing and just be? Just be. I have a friend in college and he really had something here. And I like, we kind of got it then. Like we were in our like fun, like experiencing ourselves phase, right? Like you learn so much that first couple years when you go off to college about yourself, when no one's telling you who to be and how to be or whatever, when you get a little bit of autonomy. And when he would watch some of us girls get overly excited about the things that girls do, right? That are all nonsense, but we do. He would be like, why don't you just be? He's like, just be. Stop worrying about it. Just be. And he's so right. And we would always say, like, we would try to correct one another, be like, no, no, just be. Don't even worry about that. Just be. It's time to just be. And that's really about allowing yourself to go inward. That's really about allowing yourself to drop into your body. It's really about connecting internally with truly who you be when no one's looking, when no one's asking anything from you, when no one needs or demands anything of you. Who you be is who you need to set free. That's what we do here in reclamation. And this truly, truly is not a course. This is a return. And I was going to do this in just 3 weeks, but I decided to stretch it out a little bit to 6 weeks to give it the space and to hold that space of expansion for you to allow that to come out. Because we can't just rush through it. Time is part of it. That integration piece is part of it. Because again, you're the one that people come to when shit hits the fan, right? You're the strong one, you're the strategic one, you're the one who always finds a way. But let me tell you, on the inside, well, you always find a way. But on the outside, actually, you're high functioning, responsible, you're resilient. Inside is where you're tired. And this is not like tired, I need a nap. You're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like this overperforming, overhandling, over delivering, over committing, over guessing, over booking, overthinking. Those are the things that are kind of just gnawing at you right now. 1 second. This is where I need my gummy bears. I forget gummy bears, whatever, if I'm chewing on gummy bears when I'm presenting, when I'm teaching. I know they're terrible for you, but it is a guilty pleasure of mine. Like they just help coat my throat. Um, Not the Haribo ones. It's the other ones. They start with like an A or something. So I don't know the level of bad. Maybe they're not as bad as the other ones. Um, but again, you're not tired. You're just kind of getting to the point of being done. But the power is getting to the point of being done before you're hateful done. Like you don't want to be hateful done. And I'm going to use like, and I can paint this picture for you. There are so many memes and reels about the menopausal woman right now. And the last one my girlfriend sent me, she's like, this is a husband reading a sealed envelope with a letter from his wife saying, listen, could you please stop breathing inside the house? Like it's really disturbing my peace. Can you please stop turning off the fan? I am having a hot flash. I am 10,006 degrees. And if you're cold, don't turn off the fan, put on 6 blankets, or maybe go sleep somewhere else. Like all of these things, right? Like let's not, the power becomes in choosing that you're going to allow yourself to walk this path and allow these things that are buried inside you to come out and be shared so that you don't become hateful, so that you don't end up being the woman that in your 50s and 60s, you blow up your entire life because you didn't choose yourself all those years before and you were living a life for someone else. Now, P.S., I think there is so much beauty when you do blow up your life because you do finally choose yourself. But you don't have to let it get to that point. You can start choosing you earlier and sooner, especially before you have those hormones that are going way crazy, causing your emotional experience to be so much more heightened. This is just a tired of I don't want to do it anymore. And I know that there's got to be a better way. That's the tired that you're feeling if you're following me right now. Like your soul is just ready for something different, right? A life of ease. Like if you're craving trust, calm, ease, flow, peace, safety, simplicity, just love, joy. If you're craving those things, this is for you, right? This is for you because you want the life that you don't have to continue to prove that you're worthy of rest. You don't need to prove, you want to learn how to not prove that you are deserving of rest. and that you are deserving of not carrying everything and that you no longer need to prove yourself just by showing people how much you can carry. You want a life where softness doesn't scare you, where success doesn't cost you your peace. And so I created Reclaim, well, Reclamation. It was going to be Reclaim, but I think it's bigger than that. Like this is a reclamation. You are reclaiming, but this whole process that we're going to go through in our 6 week, it's actually going to be 7 because there's a bonus involved, which is so like making the ethereal, like, and the bougie, like in the 3D. It's kind of like you're becoming ceremony at the end of this. And that's a free bonus 7th week. Um, like I created reclamation because I lived the life where, and still one of the things that I'm trying to overcome and still work through is allowing myself to rest when other people around me are not resting. Like if Ken is up doing things, and especially if he's like working in the garage, he does garage, I do house. Although he helps around the house, but I'm kind of like, I'm not touching the garage. That's your space. Don't touch my kitchen, also, P.S. Um, if I need a day of rest and he is busy getting shit done, I really have a problem still, although I'm way better than I used to, taking that time for me and understanding that I'm deserving of rest when others are not resting around me. It's a big one. Let me know in the comments if that's you. So I created this reclamation because this is a process I've gone through that has really, really helped me. Because I've survived the things that would have broken so many people. Hashtag it didn't crush me. And I wore that survival like a crown until it almost crushed me. I mean, I had a 4 year custody battle with a man who hated me more than he loved our son. His entire life's goal during those 4 years was to try to do everything to ruin me, personally and professionally. I had CPS come to my home. I went through insane, insane work conversations about things that he would call my employer and share about, which were not even true, nor did it have anything to do with my job. I had been followed by the police. I had to put cameras all over the outside of my home just to ensure if something happened or that he wouldn't be around or he wouldn't do anything. And at that, then he decided to exit this world after that 4 year custody battle. It wasn't over money. He decided to exit this world. And what did I do? I was the one to pick up the pieces, not just for my son, but for him. I cleaned out the home, took care of the estate things, all of it, did a funeral service. I did all the things because that was the right thing to do. I'm a good person. He was a human. He was a very troubled human, right? And I survived and I wore that. It didn't crush me like a crown. And then being downsized during COVID, right? I wore that. I wasn't going to let that crush me, right? That's where like I finally created it didn't crush me and we decided to hashtag it, right? Like, or not to hashtag it. We decided to trademark it. But at some point it just feels like too much. And at some point you start to realize like the life that I dreamt of isn't the life I want right now. What the life that I really want is that ease, that peace. And so I stopped. I learned to choose my softness. I learned to create safety in my body, in my environment, in my relationships. I learned to choose me and not worry, or I learned to choose me over the thought of letting someone else down. It's okay to let others down, to choose yourself. Too much women use the term motherhood and they make that synonymous with selflessness. And would you want your children doing that. Absolutely not. And these are things you know, but this is how I've done it. This is how you go from armor to authenticity. This is how you go from survival to sovereignty. This is how you go from, oh, I've got this, to I'm held and I don't have to get this. I can let someone else get this and be okay. And you redo that inside reclamation. And so let me share my next slide, a little backstory. There she is. So I really wasn't even going to bring her out yet. Do you see her? Hang on. There she is. I wasn't necessarily going to bring her out. I was going to let you all meet Sanara inside Reclamation, but I am so damn excited to share this. So this came about, Sanara came about because I was in the middle of creating an Oracle deck. I'm creating my own Oracle deck, and it's something that I've been dreaming about since 2020. And working through some of the archetypes within the energetic archetypes within the Oracle deck. I created Sanera really in my likeness, right? Like this is truly my life's path. And this entire program exists because I was able to take what I have done and allow myself to view it through the lens of archetypal energy. And here's Sanera. She's just one of the many archetypes in this deck, but she is at the core because she's the alchemist of becoming. She's also inside every single one of you. She's inside every single one of us. And so when I was younger, when I had that armor all around me built up, when my inner masculine had to take front and center because my inner little girl, who was honestly so emotional and so sensitive, and she kept getting hurt so much, the masculine had to take over. And people would call me intimidating. My nickname was the Ice Princess. I've been told that I was too flimsy, right? Like I get bored with things way too easily. And even now I know, honestly, like the whole getting bored with things too easily is not being allowed to follow your energetic excitements and desires. And that's part of like, that is the core of being a manifesting generator. And human design is so, so key to understanding who we are and accepting ourselves as who we are, right? But because of the things that I've done right inside reclamation, I literally or in my life that has now become reclamation, right? I literally am able to use all of that just as wind in my sails, right? All of those is misguided attacks, misinterpretations, misunderstandings of me. They're truly just a propellant to realize some of the most polarizing things about all of us are really, truly some of the most gifted and beautiful things about all of us. We're just sitting in the wrong room. But when you know you're in the right room and you're just craving more, which is ultimately doing less. You're craving to be more instead of do more. You're going to need a little bit of help. And this is truly embodying this Sanera archetype, right? This alchemist of becoming. It truly feels now like I can live apologetically. Like I have truly let down the weight of carrying other people's opinions, or I've stopped carrying the weight of other people's opinions. And that in and of itself is freeing. Oh, are we up there yet? My next, there we go. There's the slide. These are not flipping as easily for me as I was hoping. Um, you've lived in survival mode for too long. And so it's time to reconnect with softness, create safety in your body, and start living with more peace, more ease, trust, and full body safety. Feeling in your body, literally feeling emotions move through your body, allowing them to do that, right? Reclamation is, it's part storytelling, it's part self-healing, it's part soul activating. It's centered around the Sanera archetype and a powerful, well, because she's a powerful mirror for rebirth. Think about that. This Sanera archetype, and I forgot her little trademark symbol right there. She's truly just such a mirror for your rebirth. If we're not evolving, we are moving backwards. If we're not evolving, we're choosing to be stuck. And so many of us are disconnected from what our longing truly is versus what we are doing. Our doing and our actions are not matching with our deepest desires and our longings. And we really need to take a look and marry those two. Okay, the reclamation journey. So, guys, this is what you're waiting for. Like, what is it, right? Like, tell me what's inside reclamation. Here's what I'm going to share with you. It is a sacred 6-week guided experience, right? And it's where your survival patterns soften. We're going to help you recalibrate your nervous system. Now, there's a ton of things I'm sure you're already doing. I am not the first person and the only person talking about nervous system regulation out there, but it is so, so important. And this is where the real you gets to come home. When I launched the very first iteration of the It Didn't Crush Me experience back in September, a friend of mine told me about the quote or said the quote, like women are returning to themselves energetically at this point in time, astrologically, like what's going on with the planets. If you follow any of those things, you feel this call to return home to yourself. Right. And so this is not just mindset work, right? Like I've said a long time, I've said so many times, mindset is so 5 years ago, maybe it's 10 years ago. There's so much work to do in the heart space. There's so much work to do internally and energetically to really connect it all. Like this is true soul evolution right here. And so here's your format, right, for your freedom loving nervous system. Because if you're one of my people, again, you are that freedom driven purpose or freedom seeking purpose driven woman, AKA you're probably a fire sign. And if data shows to be true, you're probably a projector as well. I seem to have an awful lot of those in my client sphere. And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to drop 2 modules a week. So I'm going to teach twice a week. These are going to be recorded. And then we're going to have the 2 modules. And the following week, we're going to have a group coaching session. Everything's going to be recorded. You're going to have a downloadable soul work companion guidebook. We're going to have I'm actually going to have you vote on the times for our group coaching calls based on who's in the group. What I've had done in the past is some people are like, well, I can only come to things in the evening. And some people are like, I can only do things during the day, right? We're going to look at the makeup of this group. And I do have some flexibility because, again, these are 3 coaching calls that you're going to be in. That's it. Is the rest is not, I wouldn't say self-guided, but I'm going to teach. And sometimes I'll teach live, and sometimes I'll go ahead and I'll just drop it into the group, right? And we're going to host this in a Facebook group. So you have 6 weeks, and there is that bonus week that I'd mentioned, which is amazing. Like I'm not even going to describe to you exactly what it is. It's totally a surprise bonus experience, but it is the full-on embodiment of what you're allowing to come back through and what you are returning to and who you are returning to. So who is this? Let me tell you who this is not for. Okay. So if you're looking to maximize your day, your calendar, your time, girl, this is not for you. Right? If you're sitting there like focused on your next launch, your next strategy, your next move, because all you can think about is what you can do to move yourself forward, right? You're just like, think of the person who was like literally like just so hyper focused on the markets every single day and not looking at the totality of the whole picture. If that's you, this is not for you. Reclamation is not your container. If you feel you still have something to prove, right, to your husband, to yourself, in your career, to your friends, if you're still kind of like, no, I know, like this, then this is not for you. Because the woman that this is for, right, the reclamation woman, she is noticing a shift already. She's already slowing down, right? Like you're choosing yourself, and this is like a new priority for you, but it kind of feels shaky, right? Like you keep cycling between like the doing and you're like, oh, I don't really want to do that. And then you find you're overcommitted again, you're overextended, you're overdoing, you're overthinking, you're over worrying. But yeah, you're kind of, but you're conscious of it. You're conscious of the fact like that this is not the space and the place and the you that you want to live in, right? So you've had to have like some form of a conscious shifting kind of awakening within yourself. Number two, you recognize that time is so precious to you and doing more. I'm sorry, you want to do less so that you can be more. And and you're thinking about how can you be more in the bedroom? How can you be more in the boardroom? How can you be more with your family? How can you be more with the few friends that now you actually want to create and make time for, the friends that are in your inner circle? And I'm talking about the people that come to your home. I'm not talking about the people that you see out there. I'm talking about the people that you share with. Like you want to create deeper, more present, more connected relationships. Connectedness is my word of the year. That's actually my how. Synergy would be the word. And I'll give you a little secret. Synera's name kind of came from synergy, little part of it. But there is really something to be said about, and especially for you type A alpha women, you doers, you movers, you shakers, you got this women, right? Like how much is all of that doing affecting your relationship, affecting you in the bedroom? How much of all that doing is keeping you from being so present and so ready and so willing to be intimate and expand and go deeper in your intimacy with your husband? How much is all of that affecting that, right? And if you recognize that that is a place and a space that deserves your time and attention and you would love to do that, this program is for you. It's also for you if the concept of letting go just sounds so juicy and delicious, but it's terrifying because again, you already know, you've seen it, you've experienced the mess that it might create for you in the process. That the letting go might create some imperfectness in your world and you're already knowing or thinking or feeling you're going to have to be the one to pick up the pieces. You're going to have to be doing more then. Because I'm going to show you how you don't have to. It doesn't have to be like that. But trust me, I know what you're thinking, right? Like, it sounds great. I know this is what I want to do, but listen, what if it's not right for me? What if it doesn't work for me? And why can't I just figure all this out on my own, like over time? Like, do I really need to worry about this right now? So, if you're thinking like, what if the time is not right? Like, literally, that is your, I don't belong here. I'm worried I'm going to fail at this because you've already tried. You've already tried and you recognize that in those moments where you've tried to be the one not holding it all together, you've tried to rely on other people, you've tried to let go, you've witnessed everything else fall apart. And the reaction that you had then did not help, nor were you in a place and space then, because you're different now. You're already feeling that nudge, right? That was the difference. You were just testing the waters before you weren't ready. Now you felt the nudge. You already are starting to know you just don't want to have to fix it all anymore. And so part of you believes that that's there. And so I'm telling you that if you felt that nudge, that shift, this is just simply a fear of you not belonging in that softer space, letting go of an old identity. And that's easy to work through. So easy to work through. Subconscious healing, heart healing, quantum healing. Please, girl, I got you on all of that. Okay, what if it doesn't work for me, right? Like what you're really thinking here is like you've tried other systems, like you've already outgrown like the traditional support systems, like you've done things and you're like, nah, like none of these things land for me anymore. Also, feeling like you don't belong in the space of having a personal coach. And I just call bullshit on that. It does work. It does work when you allow it. It does work when somebody who's already walked that walk before you and the ultimate over, again, I'm a Virgo. I can do everything the perfect right way. But the peace that it rips from and the joy that it rips from my relationships, from my marriage, by making everything having to be my way and so exactly my way all the time. Letting some of that go brings so much more, like I said, and so much more directly correlates to the bedroom. How many more of us want that? How many just would love to get back to some of that hot and heavy, but we can't lay down all the things that are standing in the way of the hot and heavy? It'll work. I promise. If I can't figure it, why, okay, so why can't I just figure this out on my own? Girl, because you've been trying to do that, right? You've been trying to do that. And it's not worked for you. There's only so much that you can do following self-help. So much of it needs to be soul guided. And it's the simplicity of softness that's really your biggest edge because you've tried so much on your own. Like that, it's you've gone to that edge and it's so scary. It doesn't feel safe to step off. We're going to create more safety for you. We're going to help you create what that safety looks like in your environment, in your relationships, and also within your body. And truly, what are you getting inside all of this, right? You're getting these 6 core lessons. So again, 2 lessons are going to be dropped, 2 modules dropped in 1 week. They're going to be recorded. They're going to be uploaded into the Facebook group. They're also going to be recorded and downloadable in my coaching platform. Then the following week, you're going to have a live group coaching call. Now, this is where you're going to bring some of your questions. This is where you're going to bring, now, if you're there live, if we do a live teaching call, then you can ask some questions during that as well. But the every other week group coaching calls are really to help you work through that soul companion workbook, to bring some of your epiphanies forward, to share with the group and to have me help guide you through that, right? So 6 lessons, 3 group coaching calls. That soul companion work is going to bring you through that. We're going to have lots of activations to help activate your heart and your soul and really connect your heart, your soul, and your subconscious. So we're going to do a lot of that kind of work. We're going to do some nervous system regulation work. Everything's going to be available on demand. You're going to have replay access. It's so simple. You have this beautiful intimate container because we are going to keep it to a certain number of women just to ensure like you feel comfortable and safe sharing some of these deep moments, these deep growth epiphanies, because remember, you've buried them deep down. And one of the biggest reasons that you haven't brought these things forward and integrated them into your life yet is because it doesn't feel safe to do that yet. So I'm going to help you create that safety. Now, with the group calls, this is the biggest thing, right? Like we are going to let you guys vote on when those calls are going to be because I want you to be able to get the coaching. We're going to have access to the Sonera self-journal. This is going to be something outside of the Soulwork companion book. And this surprise experience on your 7th week, right? So we're getting a full 7 weeks, 3 coaching calls, and then me guiding you through this celebration bonus surprise experience in week 7. Also, we're going to vote on the time and the date for that based on the group and the group's needs, because I want everyone to be able to be there. There's just so much. Like this is the most, I can't, the word intensive is not it, but this is the most comprehensive program I've ever put together at this price point. Like this is crazy. Like honestly, this is easily a $2,000 per person group program. Easily. If you want to go VIP, right? Like this is for the woman who's not here to process anymore. You're here to be witnessed. You're here to be seen in your fire, but also in your softness. And you're here for me to help expand that and help you explore and expand your power. Because the reclamation woman, she knows who she is, right? And you're invested big in yourself. You're here to show up because you're so done doing it all alone and you're ready to take that first step and accept that one-on-one kind of hand-holding, that VIP experience. So what you're going to get is 24/7 Marco Polo access to me. I'm not a Voxer girl. I'm sorry. We are going to get close. So we're going to use the Marco Polo video chat app back and forth. You can drop your polos whenever you're having these moments. Now, I'm not going to pick them up in the middle of the night. No, but because you can drop the video chat in there and however you're feeling, I will respond as soon as I can get to it, right? So you're going to have that access the entire 6 weeks, but you're also going to have access to the group coaching calls And on top of that, you also get 3 private one-to-one coaching calls, right? So one per every 2 module cycle. So the same weeks that we have a group coaching call, you're also going to receive a private coaching call. You're going to get some It Didn't Crush Me swag sent to your door, always so exciting. And your own soft power reclamation blueprint, right? Like this is going to be much more in-depth and specific, where this is going to be more of the embodiment piece for you to help with your own integration. And like I said, like this is easily thousands of dollars, right? Thousands of dollars. And I would love to take everybody one-on-one through this experience, but it can be so much more fun in a group as well because a group brings your pricing down. So doing the group for 7 weeks, truly, because you're getting 7 weeks, 3 coaching calls, 6 modules, and a bonus experience, right? But you're going to do that for 888 or 2 payments of 475, right? If you want to go VIP, we're going to do that for 1197 or 2 by 649, 3 by 444, right? Like you can read what those payment plans are. But right now, I am offering a 72-hour special pre-sale launch price, right? So from now until, and we'll say Saturday at 5 o'clock, because this is already late in the day. So from now until Saturday, so 72 hours, um, you can get this. The group for just 555 or the VIP, again, 24/7 access via Marco Polo, 3 one-on-one coaching calls plus your 3 group calls, all for 888. And there's payment plans available on that as well. I'm not going to bore you with that. But you're getting all of this, right? Like literally right now, this is crazy. You're getting all of this coaching. You're getting all of this opportunity to be held and allow these things, these nudges that you've been feeling. I'm guiding you through that, right? And all of that for 555 or 888 for the next 72 hours. So please, I'm going to leave the sign up link in the comments. It is listed on my Instagram. It is listed in my bio here on Facebook. You can message me if you have questions. I cannot wait to see you inside. I cannot wait to see you inside Reclamation. So truly, ladies that are here that want to do this, I completely invite you to join me in Reclamation because you are so ready to do life different now. There's no more sameness. It's love, peace, joy, it's safety that you are creating. And these are the things that are so valuable to you right now at your core. These are your priorities. And so together, and along with Sanera, you will ignite what has always been waiting to rise inside of yourself. I cannot wait for this to start. Can't wait to see you all inside Reclamation. Doors are open, so please go sign up or send me a message, and we'll get you in there.